Are not.
Young men have fallen faster than any demographic in America over the last 40 years.
It's a different world now. Like, we don't need men the way that they used to.
Nobody needs men!
The future is female.
Men and women are drifting further apart, and society is crumbling because of it.
A fascinating debate has broken out about the value of marriage.
You've kind of got the Tradcon versus red pill thing. This men's rights crowd that sometimes just goes too far the other way.
You need to stop acting like grown boys and infants and actually become men.
Marriage is a bond, and it's a sacred bond.
It's a machine designed to extract resources from you.
Now many of the red-pilled have taken the position that it's bad for men to get married.
Hannah Pearl Davis, or just Pearly things.
One of the most controversial faces in all of the internet.
She goes on to say that marriage is a terrible deal for men.
Because if me and you were in a business contract, you would never sign a contract where I am paid to leave.
Gee, what could go wrong there?
74% or something of divorces are initiated by women. Men have everything to lose, primarily their own children.
Men get killed by the courts and by divorce laws.
I had no idea that courts of family law were courts of equity, not courts of law.
Because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. When you guys say get married young, a lot of these men don't know what they're signing up for, and you're not going to be there when their entire life falls apart. I interview them on the other side.
I didn't meet my son until he was 15 months old.
How much did you spend trying to get him back?
On legal fees alone was about $200,000.
Before you know it, you're homeless. You're literally just thrown out onto the street.
We absolutely reinforce bad behavior from women.
Wives are taught to leave their husbands, and then daughters grow up without their fathers.
Family is the foundation of the society.
Every problem in society comes from single mother homes.
A lot of women will just chase this negative rabbit hole of happiness, endless happiness.
Feminism's biggest failures is it lies to women. We tell women to date as many guys as possible. We tell them to put off family into marriage.
You are allowed to leave your perfect husband. You are allowed to end a relationship with a really great boyfriend.
Oh, freeze your eggs, have an abortion. What? You're evil.
I don't think there's anything else in life that we actually ever go into preparing to fail.
Right.
Like if you have the mentality of this is going to go wrong and be pessimistic, naturally the outcome is going to be that it's going to fail anyway. Yeah. It's self-sabotage.
And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
This myth that we live in an age of male privilege. Where's my male privilege?
They think, well, men have all the rights. They have all the power.
Privileged patriarchal system that we have.
Why doesn't our society care about men's rights?
I have no friends,
no wife, and no social life.
Men are alone in this situation. Men are homeless. Men are thinking about eating guns.
I've seen so many men on the brink of suicide, and they didn't do anything wrong.
How are you equal if the men are the ones that have to fight and die to defend the country? The men are the ones that build and maintain all the infrastructure.
Women are helplessly dependent upon men.
The so-called deaths of despair from suicide, overdose, or alcohol, 3 times higher among men than among women.
Culture is telling men, you are no good.
You got to get your act together.
I think men have failed themselves.
What kind of a man are you? What kind of a woman are you going to attract?
If men are in trouble, so are women.
Everybody knows this is a huge problem, but nobody wants to admit it.
Every single woman at the table said they wanted a man.
500K,
500K,
200K,
300K,
200K.
Am I crazy?
Everything is really set up against you to fail as a man.
If men make less than women, women don't want to marry them.
So you know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women.
I don't want to be an independent woman anymore.
I don't want to be a strong, independent woman.
I'm over it. When is it going to be my turn?
Where are we meeting the men that don't stop?
I can't keep having these same conversations.
The only simp here is you, Pearl. You simp for men.
I think you simp for women.
She's a provocateur. She says stupid stuff, but Pearl is right about this.
It's already happening. It's just not out in the open yet.
Now it's just hookup culture is going to be our fairy tale ending because men don't want a wife and women can't find a husband.
The future, if everybody follows your path, is there is no future.
We go into population decline, and our economy goes into decline.
Civilization will crumble.
The American story does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I don't know what I did to deserve your time and attention, but I'm very happy that you guys are here tonight. So I was thinking about how I've basically made a career off of stating the obvious. And the first obvious thing we want to talk about is thank you to the anonymous $100 donation to the documentary. Oh, we had two in the last 24 hours. We had Daryl and an anonymous person donated $100 each, with our total being $37,322. You guys are awesome. I'm so lucky. I have the best fans. I really do. I feel like I have to go in normal society and nobody gets my sense of humor. You know, I'll be like, I hate women. And they're like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, oh yeah, I can't just say that. I can't just say that in normal America, huh? But you know, it is what it is. So today I was thinking about how females, we just have a tendency to gaslight into all eternity. And I actually wanted to start the show by looking at Candace Owens' Twitter beef with Nick. We're kind of following this. So what happens when women are very angry, right, is, oh, I forgot I made a PowerPoint on this. When women are very angry, we have a tendency to just crash out. Okay. You know, men, all right, so I made a PowerPoint talking about what women do when they're offended. So what do women do when they're offended? You guys, this is a working PowerPoint, so you guys are totally welcome to offer your thoughts, your experiences. But I have a lot of experience with the offended women with what I do for work. You know, if I wasn't sexist before, like if I was more in the middle or whatever, I definitely am now. I really am. Not all women, not all women, not all women. Because I've seen just how like scorned women will ruin your life. And you know what? If somebody ruins your life and they're like rich or something, you at least can justify it. Like, okay, they had to work really hard to get rich. At least they have the power to ruin my life, you know. But I made a PowerPoint on what women do when they're offended. So there's a man that's offended and a woman that's offended. Notice how the man, it's just like offended. The woman, it's World War III. There is nobody. There is nobody. Is this PowerPoint up? Can you guys see it? There's nobody that will ruin your life more than a scorned woman. They never let it go. It never goes away. Can you guys see it? Put a 1 in the chat. I'm making sure here. So men oftentimes when they, I don't know why the chat isn't updating for me. When they, oh, do we not have it up? Is it up? Oh, it is now. Okay. All right. So when men are offended, they'll fight it out, right? They might yell at each other. They might beef. But then after they'll be friends, right? It'll be like beef, 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 friends. Beef, 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 friends. Beef, 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 friends, pals. And, you know, they're very willing to let the past go. Are women willing to let the past go? Never. And if you've ever done anything wrong ever, they'll be sure to bring it up. Every mistake I've ever made, women that are angry with me are sure to bring it up. They live in the past. Where men, they just are happy because they live in the present. So one thing that women will do when they're angry is they make up shit. They just, do you know what? Like, I kind of want to tell one of the rumors they always put about me. And the actual story versus the real story. But I don't really want to go into it today. But it'll be like an example. Maybe one day I'll go through my hit pieces and I'll clarify some things. But an example would be, you might have gotten drunk at a party and been a little boozy, right? But the women will be like, she's such a big slut whore. I saw her plastered, puking everywhere. And you're like, hey, I was just a little tipsy. And then she'll tell that to not 1, but 10 people, you know. It's never just one person, you know. And I think that is like the worst part about a scorned woman is you just have to do so much reputation repair Because half the time you don't even know they're angry. And they have destroyed your reputation times 10. Where you have said, like, maybe you've talked a little bit of shit about your wife, but and it'll be like your deepest, darkest, most embarrassing moment of your life. They'll bring up. And not only will they bring it up, they'll put it on the internet. They will. Scorned women, man. They never quit. They misremember all the time. Bring up every mistake you've ever had. That's my face, right? Any mistake, I've ever had, they just bring it up over and over again. Yes, I get it. And it's worse because if you're a forgiving person, like if you don't remember everything they did to you, you're like punished because in the war, you don't have a list of every bad thing they've done. You forgot. You moved on. But they have a list for you. They have a never-ending list. They try to get you fired. They did get me fired. One scorned, offended woman mass reported my channel, and I was unemployed for a year and a half. She got 20 people fired, one scorned woman. And let me tell you, I had to fire my entire staff. We had a lot of people there, and I bet she would be happy about it. I bet if you looked at her face, she'd be like, great, that was really good. I'm happy. Oh, do you know what? I need to make another slideshow or another slide I forgot to add because insults, they will throw at you. Let's do. Throw at you to ruin your reputation. Can we let's brainstorm that we haven't even gotten to the main topic, but I just thought this was kind of fun. One is pedo. That's one they throw at you. Creep. I want you guys, we'll come back to that, but I just want you guys to be brainstorming. They bring up every mistake you've ever had. They try to get you fired. They antagonize you. So anything bad you've ever done, they'll antagonize you. They'll never let it go ever. A scorned woman will take years off your life, literally. If you're an incel in the chat, consider yourself lucky. Because women, it's like, do you want to deal with this? No. Women have no idea how many people live in fear of them. We live in fear of the crazy reputation destruction. A woman may key your car. Lawsuits. I think that's what scares me the most is women will drag you to court over nothing. They might not even lose the case or win the case, but I had to pay the lawyers and bring up all this mental energy I could have spent on my show. And it just never ends. They'll call you a pedo, a creep, a rapist. It never ends. Oh, is whatever in the chat? Welcome to the show, Brian. If you have anything to add to the PowerPoint, let me know. You're obviously an expert at this. And the reputation destruction goes so deep. They will find your best friend. They will find the person that's closest to you just to poison the well. Just to start saying every bad thing you've ever done. If you've ever said anything bad about anyone, they will exaggerate it and times it by 10 and tell that person. It never ends. It never ends. Well, I need one insult they throw at you, Brian. Come on. I mean, you're an expert on this. You really are. Oh, narcissists. That's a good one. I rejected a girl who I never met in person. She stalked me for 10 months and contacted all the people I worked with. Holy shit. Sorry, I'm laughing. But I feel for the men because these women, predator, that's a good one. These women, they do the same thing to me because I have these talking points.
Abuser, thank you. Manipulator. I knew he would be the perfect person. Abuser, manipulator. And the funny thing is, everything that women say about men, women are. Okay? They call men pedos. Who's getting in trouble for sleeping with students, men or women? Who? They say that the men are the creeps, right? They say men will screw anything, but if you look at women's exes, they're way worse than men's exes. And we take them out in public, right? The creep, the rapist. I mean, have you ever told a woman no for sex? Men are like, you say no, and the men are like, all right, here. Especially nowadays, the women say, oh, I don't know. They're like, get off. Narcissist. I mean, the women are the ones that can't stop talking about themselves. Oh, sociopath. That's a good one. Manipulator, abuser, predator. And the reason I thought of this is because when I was watching the beef between Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, I see Candace is just such a great example of all of the classic. I mean, we can't help it. It's like women. So here we got her using her dad for clout. It is what it is. I'm not even saying she shouldn't do it, but all right. Let me find the back and forth. Maybe I'll go to Nick's page today instead. Fuentes. Okay. Let's see. Okay. He says, at the peak of my popularity, all of a sudden there's a coordinated smear campaign by the biggest conservatives who wouldn't give me the time of day a few months ago. This is what happened when you start naming names and talking to... Okay, well, we're not going to say who we're talking about. I wanted to focus more on the coordinated attack. That's a female thing. So it doesn't surprise me that Nick had this... Him and Candace crashed out. And now the woman goes to all of his business associates, like what happened to Brian, and gets them to go after him. And women do it in a very subtle, manipulative way. They'll call them up, they'll express their grievances, they'll tell a one-side story. They might even sprinkle in some stuff to piss him off, and then they'll get him going. I could not get over you literally dedicating hours to lying about me now, pretending you're being victimized as a response. How did men ever fall for this act? That's another one. Gaslighting. It just, it never ends. It never ends. Wait, I want to find the back and forth because it was pretty funny. Hold on, guys. Here it is. So she says, my second offer to Nick, if he agrees to sit down and actually debate me with a moderator and the date of time of his choosing, I will therefore set up his dream debate with Charlie Kirk. He told his audience I'm an illiterate fraud, so the offer should be irresistible. Well, Candace, I got to be honest, if he views you as an illiterate fraud, he probably doesn't want to talk to you. And that's the thing. We just have a tendency to feel entitled to men arguing with us. Like we just have to be right so bad, we have to crash out. I know I shouldn't have said his full name, but it's fine. If there's a real offer, then have Charlie Kirk confirm and I'll consider it. Otherwise, you're just embarrassing yourself. Everyone knows you wouldn't be begging for me to come back if your first hit job succeeded. It's always the loser asking for a rematch. We never debated. It was never marketed as a debate, nor did I ask to come down and debate. Now, will we debate the lies you spread on my character and your views? Yes or no? If I can guarantee Charlie Kirk, will you debate? So, Candace, women will protect their reputation with their life. That's why we crash out in this industry, right? That's why we just go crazy. She's going crazy saying, and trying to defend her reputation, where men will just, take the hits and just keep going because they're focused on the information. And I don't think she realizes how drama, like, invoking this it looks so bad on her. It just looks like she could be talking about all the Palestine, Israel stuff. And she says, no, I want to defend my reputation. Candace, can we just be honest here? You don't have the best reputation in this industry. You don't have the worst one either. And I'm sure I don't either. So it's not like I'm throwing this stone and saying my reputation is clean. It's, but I don't think you have the reputation you think, when you crash out on your old boss, yeah, that might get you clicks for like a week, but deep down, I'll think you're crazy, right? I'll think you're kind of insane. So he says, at the peak of my popularity, all of a sudden there's a coordinated smear campaign by my biggest conservatives who wouldn't give me the time of day a few months ago. This is what happens when you start naming names and talk. Okay. Wait, we read this one already. Is there another? I swore there was another. Okay, maybe I clicked the wrong one. Nick is running circles. Oh, here it is. This is the back and forth. Okay. He's not gonna, because he knows I am telling the truth. He lied about me, my husband, and my family to sow chaos. If everything he said about me was true, why wouldn't he want to join to expose me? I'll let him pick the debate and his own moderator. Speaking of George, why didn't you press Milo for publicly calling your husband gay? If you're such a tough bitch like your granddad, where was that energy? Okay, I'm not going to talk about the Jay stuff. You're such a fake bitch. It's really insane. I'm going to skip the Jay stuff. I could see you're coming undone and trying to pivot here. Why don't you ask me in person instead of your virtual tough guy act where you throw wild allegations and claim everyone's trying to kill you? And, it's like, again, Nick actually did have someone try to kill him. So it's, again, women using like a weak moment to throw stones. And then I'm going to look at Candace's replies in this too. Oh, I thought this was insane. So
I don't have that money. I really do.
Yeah, here we go.
And this lawsuit, we got an estimate this weekend from a legal team. It is going to cost us millions. I don't have that money. I really don't. I got to tell you, like, the estimate that we got, and I want to be clear, this is if it goes all the way through. So they said, like, from start to finish, if they don't drop this at some point, blah, 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 here's how much it's going to cost you just to get through the deposition phase. Here's how much it's going to cost you to go all the way through.
And was this worth it? You're costing your family $5 million. Now, there's some things that you could argue are worth it, right? I don't know if some old lady dude pretending to be the other gender, I just don't know if that's worth it.
And they are estimating $5 million. It's like a lot of money.
But that's what I mean. We get into drama, man pays for it. It's just always how it goes.
And we do not have that money just laying around.
Oh, wow. Wow, how many houses do you need? Jesus, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 houses? Wow, I wouldn't even want to, oh my gosh.
So I thought we could actually sell some t-shirts. I just picture people wearing this like at other than like, we know what it means, like hashtag free Emmanuel. It's like subtle enough. I really like this, free Emmanuel. You're going to see somebody wearing a t-shirt and be like, we know what's up. We know.
All right. I want to see the Candace. Candace had a few other replies where I was just like, why are we... What is the purpose of this? Or she was replying to Nick, and I'm just like, this is so classic. Second offer to debate Nick, if he agrees to sit down and debate me, I will therefore... I played clips from his own show. He's genuinely this soft. Again, this is gaslighting. It's like, you took clips from a year ago. When we're all YouTubers, you don't know the context of the stream, and you're just having him defend everything he said about you instead of talking about, like, the issues. And then you're going to gaslight when he's like, maybe we could have focused on the important things. All right, this is what she said to Nick, but like I said, how you wanted to play it, I was cordial in person, and afterward, I had a sort of what the F just happened feeling as I digested it. Anyways, we did it. It will speak for itself. You don't like me complaining about it. That's how I feel. Yeah, and that's, that happens all the time in media. That really does. Because you'll do an interview, and again, because the interviewer gaslights you. That's how I felt after, what was it? Oh my gosh. Oh, who was it? Those two like gay guys in Britain. I don't know. They had ambushed me about Nick after I had him on. And I was like, what was that? And then she says, your victim mentality is exhausting. Nobody ever does anything right. They either don't have you on when they want to have you on. You didn't get everything you wanted. Even when you are told there is no true limit. So this is just more gaslighting. Your instincts are deceitful. You have a Judas personality. I don't understand how you guys have Jesus crosses in your bio. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. Yeah, the trigonometry. You know what I mean? It's just. Okay, let's see. All right, I think that's pretty much. We added the theologian into the editing, but we were able to confirm dropping it tomorrow. Okay, wait. Unfair attack. Does the victim mentality not exhaust you? He's been attacking me for 2 weeks straight. He's a wealthy gay. Yeah. Oh, that's the other insult women put in. They call the men gay. I just, how can you say that and then have the cross in your bio? Anyways, okay, we're going to move on to the actual topic. Okay, so welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. All right, I can't think of anything that has influenced and damaged the minds more of women than social media. Maybe you could say birth control and feminism, but we're just going to stick to social media for now. Social media has taken women's need for attention and validation and dialed it all the way up to 11. The need for attention has led many women to get plastic surgery, and one of the accessible and easy surgeries to get the most attention is a boob job. I posted a Twitter today on the subject. I said, I'm confused as to why Christian wives have boob jobs. Now, I'd like to say I'm not even anti-boob job, because I do think that we are in a modern society, and sometimes in order to get what they want, people have to do things that maybe they're not comfortable with or maybe are immoral. I know people will say you have to stick to your morals no matter what. Well, I don't really think that's reality. So, in all honesty, though, On the other hand, I'm pro boob job. I think that every man really does deserve the joy of banging a beautiful woman with fake boobs. And I think that women should be their husband's corn star. I mean, how many men would be happier in a marriage if their wife got a boob job, especially the fat women? Because the fat women, they're so fat, you might as well get some fake boobs. Like, you might as well at that point take the risk. But the thing is, I just can't support, it's the hypocrisy that just gets me. Now, I'd like to first say I'm not the most religious person in the world. I was raised Catholic. I do believe in God. But when I go into these churches and see these clown shows, I just feel like there's no home for me. I've always said my church is sexism. And I think a church that I started, it would just be no women. The only way you could get into church is to get married. And if the men start simping, we'll kick you out. Women can't talk the whole church. And if they get offended, they're kicked out. That's how I would feel. I mean, that sounds a little bit like a cult, but I think it'd be a pretty cool cult. So the Bible has all sorts of verses about lust and sin. Matthew 5:27-28 says Jesus equates looking with lust to committing adultery in the heart, highlighting the innate internal nature of lust. John 2:16 says lust of the flesh and the eyes are described as part of the world, not God. Romans 12:2 says conforming to the world's desires, including lust, prevents transformation into God's will. There are other verses that warn against lustful desires, but yet the Tradcon women use fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake boobs to entice men. Now, look, guys, I'm not a prude, right? I'm not against, I've had fake hair before. Sometimes I'll go really dolled up on the show and I'll put in the fake hair and the makeup. I'm kind of lazy, so I can't really be bothered a lot of the time. You're just gonna have to deal with the face. You know what I mean? You'll just have to deal with the way I look. Take it or leave it. But I see the draw because when I really do myself up, I see the difference in attention. Oh my God, I'll tell you personal experience. The fake hair gives you the most increase in attention. Oh my God. It's like night and day. 3K in Thailand gets you what 8K silicone in the US with better service. Take your women there for vacation. Hit the bars while she is recovering. But there's just something about a woman lecturing me about the Bible with fake boobs. I think the way that women, when they doll themselves up, a lot of times the men like it. And you have to do what you want. You have to do what you have to do to win. But you just can't grandstand as morally superior while doing these things to get what you want. And that's what we're talking about with the modern Tradcon Christian woman. It's dishonest, it's virtue signaling. And, I posted this, and by the way, I don't hate her content, but I just have to, I just want her to understand how this looks to me. When you're saying you're a traditional wife and you come onto I don't know why it's screenshotted like this on my phone. It's how it came up on the feed and Instagram. But these look like fake boobs to me. And if they're real, if they are fake, I just know they'll gaslight me and say that they're not. So I don't need to be gaslit today. Read Sirach chapter 25-26 about women, Pearl. Doug MPA, would you mind putting it in the Google Doc? And so when you're saying you're a traditional wife, I'm thinking you got some sort of religious, backing, but you're wearing all this stuff that draws attention to you. Like you're putting the boobs out, a lot of makeup. It's not like about the information. It's like playing dress up almost. All right, so let's see some of the responses I got to this. That says you keep mocking humans' inherent ability to sin no matter what. What matters is forgiveness. I'm done following you. All you do is look for shock. I think you're a poser. Am I a poser? Well, let's take that accusation. I say like 3 times a show that I'm still a woman and I got this evil terribleness inside of me too. I'm not different or special. So I don't know what more I can do. Maybe it's me talking about this. But you know why I talk about this? Because the more you see, like, we talk about this stuff, the less crazy I feel in this society. The more I can point out what's really going on here, I think their ability to gaslight goes away. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to post something for attention, I'm going to do it with my chest. I'm going to say, yeah, I did post it for attention. I was bored. Yeah. But when I say that to women, they get offended. And we go back to this pie chart. So, like, example, Sarah Stock, right? I talked about the engagement ring. And I said, hey, you're posting that for attention. And do you know what she did? She did the modern woman life cycle. She crashed out. She got offended, even though it was true, objectively true. She went around and she's, making up stuff about me, right? Or things that are partially true, but then exaggerates it, right? To make me seem like I'm something I'm not. Brings up every mistake I ever made. Tries to get me fired by ruining my reputation in the industry and saying, all this stuff. And this is what, antagonizing, never letting it go ever. And then you're kind of scared of her because, you don't really want to deal with another crash out. You don't. So, that's like the life cycle of, dealing with women. We're going to do the Zoom in a bit. We're going to go through this. So the boob jobs, they said the problem is what's sold to you to women by other women. I know several people who have recently had breast implants taken out. They all got them together and had them taken out together like lipo or Botox. Okay, I agree with that comment. Let's see what's next. And if you guys reply to some of my tweets, we write a lot of shows off of these, so, feel free. I noticed the older women at Catholic Mass always have their hairs dyed, makeup to the mask, and every trick up their sleeve to look younger. I thought we were supposed to embrace death in Christ. Yeah, and I'm really not against these things, right? Like, I try to, I like to look good sometimes too, but it's just, I don't know if there's a Bible verse against fake boobs. I don't know, but it seems like the Bible verses imply that, right? It seems like the Bible verses would imply to age gracefully and take the L. And, even when women, there's some women, right, that clearly have plastic surgery, but they're so pleasant to be around that I can overlook it. Like, their character speaks like in a godly way. Like, for example, Dolly Parton, she just seemed like a sweetheart that everyone kind of overlooked the fact that she had all this fake, like a ton of plastic surgery, the fake boobs. But you're like, it's Dolly Parton. She's like a sweetheart, even with the giant tit, So, but you don't get that with like the Candace Owenses of the world. You don't get that with the you really don't. And that's what I would just like one or the other, at least. Because they have more children. All right. So one excuse given is they tend to have more children younger and it wrecks their breasts after a large regenerative augmentation may be performed for body confidence. In my experience, hysterectomies are performed as often. Not everything's about narcissism. Well, it is maybe not about narcissism, but it is about getting more attention from men and eliciting lust. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but do you know what I mean? It's just, it seems counterintuitive. Next, what is the problem with a Christian wife that wants to have a good body for her husband? It's none of anyone else's business if she wants to lift or have some bolt-ons. I do agree to some extent, but do you not see like why I would they seem to contradict. It seems to me to contradict. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But to me, yeah, so we're going to read the Sirach 25:26. If she won't do as you tell her, divorce her. Okay. Article about Christian women who get breast implants. Post a short reading Sirach 25:26 and copy Lila. Oh my gosh. I don't want to be a spokesperson for Christianity. I really don't. But sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy in this society because I'm like the only one asking these questions. Like, if you want to say you're a Christian wife, why do you have a pound of makeup on? Like, why big fake? But I just don't get it. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Can a Christian woman consider getting breast implants? Breast augmentation is performed by a licensed cosmetic surgeon who inserts implants filled with a saline solution, silicone gel, or other substances under the natural breast. Implants come in many different sizes to increase a patient's bust size according to her wishes. Holy Book condones silicone if they please the man. I don't know. You guys, we're going to have a call-in so you could give your thoughts on this. Every year, thousands of women go under the knife to increase their bust size. If a Christian woman has the support of family and friends and has the financial means for surgery, should she consider getting implants? The answer is in her answer to another question, why? The why behind any decision reveals a lot about our hearts. No woman seeks breast augmentation surgery because of their health benefits it affords. Neither, actually, I'm going to read this way because it's too big on the screen. Neither are breast implants necessary for mothers who wish to breastfeed infants. The only reason a woman would place herself at physical risk and spend thousands of dollars on breast implants is because she believes the surgery will make her more attractive or improve her self-esteem. Such a belief is grounded in a certain perspective of what the ideal woman looks like. Women to undergo breast augmentation. Some men pressure their wives or their girlfriends to have breast implants, but it's not for the woman's benefit. When a man pressures a woman to undergo breast augmentation, he is saying that her natural body is not enough for him and she must alter herself surgically before he will be pleased. Breast augmentation has only one purpose: increasing attractiveness. I like how they naturally just put this on the guy. They said it must be the husband. It's not the wife that wants the surgery. It's got to be the husband. Men and women, and that's what sometimes I'll go on these Christian women debates, like even with Lila Rose. She's got a pound of makeup on. Candace Owens, another one, a pound. And maybe I'm like even I was supposed to do the debate in person with Lila. She canceled on me the day of. I was like, women. And I thought to myself, they're like, oh, you can get your makeup done. And I'm like, why is this charity spending money on a makeup artist? Like, what is it? All right, so... All right, a godly husband would not demand that his wife get breast implants to spice up their sex life. Rather, he can and should train himself to make his wife's body his standard of beauty. If he has polluted his mind with pornographic images, he needs to repent, invite accountability, and recognize his sexual brokenness. So this is more shaming of the male sex drive and blaming men for women's choices. He has allowed lust to take root in his heart, creating expectations that cannot be satisfied by natural, healthy sexual relations. No woman can compete with the fantasies created by pornography. All right, so I don't want to read the whole article, it's kind of long, but I wanted to read the 7 deadly sins. Now, again, I meant record Sirach chapters 25 through 26 and CC Lila. Oh, and make that on. Okay, I'll make a note. All right, so it says the 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, or sloth. I don't know what sloth means, but I just think, like, to me, that seems like you're trying to elicit lust. All right, so I'm going to put the Zoom in the chat. Give me a second. Oh, sloth means laziness. Yeah, and I'm really not trying to be like, I'm trying to say this in a way that's not implying, because that's what they always come for me, right? That I'm better than these women, or I'm holy or anything. But I just get confused. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be reading the Bible verse, pound of makeup. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to look like that. They'll be reading the Bible verse with a very tight outfit. It might not be short or like low cut, but it'll be super tight. And I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to be dressed like that. And then they'll be reading the Bible verse, and then they'll have fake boobs, Botox, lip filler. And I'll think, aren't you, if you're really this like Christian woman, aren't you supposed to age gracefully? Isn't that like the goal here? I'm going to put the chat or the Zoom. I'm going to say, feel free to call in today. Christian women and boob jobs. I'm sending it to a few friends, so, and then people can call in and tell me what they think. What was the last person? I sent it to the e-girls group chat. I'll send it to Brian from whatever. I'll see if he wants to come on. I saw him in the chat earlier. He can give his take. Feel free to call in. Christian women and boob jobs. All right. Doug MPA, we got you on the line.
Hey. Yep. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. Oh, I got to finish this. I missed the last part. So I'll bring you in a second. So the questions that I tend to have when I hear Tradcon influencer women have fake boobs, a pound of makeup, and a social media following, I really ask, who's watching your children? I don't actually think the breast implants impact. I know women with fake boobs, and I do think the kids can drink the milk, but I'm wondering if there's like plastic in their milk. If you care about your kids so much, why are you posting your kids' private moments on Twitter with pedophiles? How do you reconcile the lust and the sin part of the Bible with your actions? And then you walk like a whore, you talk like a whore. So why would I not, like, why am I the bad guy for noticing that you're kind of slutty, you know? And that's okay. We need sluts. Like, if, in all honesty, they do the hard jobs of women. Somebody's got to do it. But silicone makes women less miserable to be around. I am not anti-boob job. If anything, I'm pro boob job. It just doesn't seem like that goes with the Bible. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're going to sin, and I'm just saying, sin with your chest. You know what there's times where you do the wrong thing and you know it was the wrong thing, but what I don't like is when Christian women sin, they gaslight you and thinking it's not a sin. That's where I get annoyed. Like, if you're gonna sin, just sin. Do it with your chest. Do it with your chest. All right, Doug MPA, what are you thinking?
Yeah. So you stated earlier that, it's blood sport out here to get the best men. This is on the left and the right. But the hypocrisy is the problem. You're trying to say, fake boobs are part of the whore uniform. And that's not going to change anytime soon.
Well, and so sorry, go ahead.
Can you be modest with a boob job?
Oh, that's a great question. No, you can't. I don't even think you could be modest with like a pound of makeup on.
Yeah, because look at Nala's outfits. All of her modest outfits are still shaped around her body, and you can see everything fake on her. How modest is that?
Lila Rose. I'm going to look up her. When she came on the show, it was like such heavy makeup. And I'm not even against makeup, but it's just, to me, and I don't think hers is the worst, it just doesn't scream modesty. When you're the center of attention in all the photos, it does not scream, I care about my family and kids, you know. And it would be one thing if it was just work, right? So the women, they're just like, they're doing the work thing, but it's like, why are we bringing your personal stuff to work, you know? Maybe on TikTok, TikTok's like, TikTok's like, there's no ground, like on TikTok, it's like a free for all. So, you know, but I'm like, I don't know. So what do you think, Doug MPA?
Would you think that a Christian woman getting a boob job would be compensating that she's lacking in other areas? Because Christian women, you don't need a boob job if you're on your husband's program and you submit to your husband. A lot of guys would rather take your submission over a boob job. What do you think?
I don't think their personalities have too much to do with the boob job. I just think it means they want attention. Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
They just want more sexual attention. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's a market for attention on the left and the right.
Well, it gives women power. So it doesn't really surprise me. Like, I mean, you get more clicks, you get more views, you get more male attention, you get more female. Like, looking good, beauty is power. So that's why I was trying to clarify. I'm not even against it, but can we call it what it is? Like, sin in public. Like, just own it. You know, sometimes we do the wrong thing to get what we want. That happens.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but just own it.
And then, I hate the fact that, further into that article, it says the issues with a Christian woman wanting breast implants for women and for men, but both sides are masking the boob implant need under the auspice of it's the husband's fault. So it's like, husbands, don't pressure your wife into getting a boob job. Women, don't accept your husband pressuring you into getting a boob job. It says nothing about the fact that women, someone in the chat put it earlier, women don't get boobs for men nowadays. They get them they get it for the attention of men, but the attention garners them respect amongst women. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, yep. So the article places it all on men. Oh, don't force your wife to get a boob job. And ladies, if your husband tries to tell you to get a boob job, point him to the Bible and say that he isn't biblical. It's like, no. The average woman gets a boob job for herself and the attention she wants, not for the attention of her husband.
Yeah, exactly. Is anyone on the line?
Yeah, we have, guys, before we bring up the first caller, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have 500 people in here, so let's get to 500 likes, 100% engagement. Thank you for everyone for being in the YouTube chat, and thank you for all the people on the Audacity chat. We really appreciate it. Guys, go over to the audacitynetwork.com and join Pearl's website. We'd love to have you over there. If you go over there and you're part of the chat and you hit Pearl read, Pearl will read your comment. We're going to bring up Christopher. Christopher, you there? We can see you. You're on mute. He's probably listening to the YouTube. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Christopher, you're on mute.
Okay, just kick him. He's got to figure it out.
You can do it. Come on.
Avni, I think you can look modest even with a boob job. I don't. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just don't think that.
I'm alive.
All right, what's going on, Chris?
Hello, stranger. How are you?
Good. How are you? What are your thoughts on Christian women and boob jobs?
Well, it's just immoral, isn't it? The boob jobs all round. They're just fake. So it's deception.
Yeah, I mean, do you feel some type of way when you see Christian female influencers with like fake boobs, a pound of makeup, fake hair, or do you not really care? It doesn't really irk you at all. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I'm not, to be honest, I'm not really that bothered about Christian influencers because they're not in my daily life. So why they would irk me, you know, like what are they going to do? Like guide me?
Okay, so what, have you had any experiences in the church, like with something similar to this, or no?
Well, no, not really. I mean, like the church that I've been to 2 churches, and yeah, generally like most of the women are like, I don't know, just pretty plain. Like they don't have like big lips and like
cool,
massive.
Okay.
Massive.
Do you have anything else to add on the topic?
Well, my opinion is don't be fantastic with plastic.
That's actually pretty funny. All right, buddy. Thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it. Okay. Up next, we have, oh man, Reclaim Your Throne called in. Let's go.
Yeah, I told you. I made the group chat on Twitter with all the, if you think of any more, I'll add more people, but the favorite guests. So
Reclaim Your Throne. What's going on, man? How's it going?
What up? What up? Can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Thanks for calling in.
Dope. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to weigh in on the topic. I mean, obviously, if a Tradcon female influencer is getting a boob job, she's definitely doing it for the likes. She's doing it for the attention. And most likely she's doing it because she is potentially in a sexless marriage. A lot of these women either get boob jobs to re-spark their own relationships or start new ones, start preparing her monkey branch plan. So, I mean, this is just another example of, modern women reaching out for attention, because we know if they're getting a boob job, they're definitely posting a picture on social media of their cleavage ASAP. I mean, we've got plenty of examples of it. We got the Isabella, I guess the baking tits thing, where she is talking about, I'm not going to post. Yeah, she said, I'm not going to post a bikini pic. And then she ends up posting a bikini pic. And then we got, I saw a clip of one of these Tradcon influencers talking about, men don't need sex and this and the third.
You talked about that yesterday. That was Lila Rose.
Yeah. And it's just like these women are so out of touch, but behind closed doors, we already know what they're getting up to. Like I always say, like any woman with over 100,000 followers on social media, I mean, you definitely got to watch her out and vet her seriously to see if she is, selling pussy. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. Because of the outreach and the just the visibility of social media just opens up that doorway for most women who get online trying to grift.
So why do they gaslight me so much? I think that's why I think I'm starting to go crazy, because especially the Christian women, it's like they'll have the Jesus crosses, but it'll be right next to their fake boobs. And then they call me the bad guy because I'm like, isn't that a contradiction? Sometimes in life, I think we all sin. And sometimes when you sin or like you do the wrong thing, but most of the time you can kind of acknowledge that something was the wrong thing. But with Christian women, it's worse because not all, but a lot of them, they just gaslight you to convince you that it's not the wrong thing and that the Bible actually says it's okay. Have you seen that, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, anything that is going to absolve them of responsibility and accountability, they're going to try and, somehow reference the Bible or justify their actions. But we all know that it is an attention grab. I mean, there's just so many different examples. We saw, the redhead, I don't forgot the bitch name, the one I did the expose on, who got on the Michael Knowles podcast and then started acting like she was the victim and all that stuff. I mean, it's just over and over again, we continue to see these examples, and they're getting louder on social media. That's just a reality. And a lot of the conservative movement on the male side are trying to combat it. But let's keep it a buck. These female influencers are taking over conservative media, especially when you see how Trump has, strategically implemented certain women into his cabinet. You see them getting a louder voice and a bigger role in politics, even, down to the congressman, House of Representatives, Nancy Grace or whatever the hell her name, Nancy Mace. And she Mace, she posted she went to the house and had a picture of her naked or some shit. Oh. So it's like they're getting out of pocket, and they're like standing on this soapbox trying to preach conservative values. And this is another example of why you don't want these women leading in religious centers, leading in the church, because they always try and change what the Bible says and what the scripture says to fit their own narrative, so that they can absolve themselves of responsibility.
Why do you think?
What do you think about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why do you think men keeping allowing this? Like why do the Michael Knowles of the world platform prostitutes over? Like, there has to be like 10 competent men that know more about the Bible than Nala. Why do they keep doing this?
I mean, it's simple. They want some pussy. That's really what it comes down to. They want it on the sly. They want it on the back end. They want to be able to fit themselves into some of these OF creators' narrative, so that, not only can they be known as accepting of one of these women who converts, but, so that they can be on call. I mean, these dudes are glorified Johns. Let's keep it a buck. These are the dudes paying for OnlyFans. These are the same dudes, paying for the pussy. Like that's what it is. So he platforms her to open up his, lane into that world, so that, well, if you know any other friends who converted, just send them my way. And I promise it's going to be on the up and up. But, we'll see later on. I mean, there's going to be something that's going to come out about these guys. They're just getting too close to that world, too close to that space. And these women they're professional seductress, they're professional succubus, and they will inevitably tempt those men into lust, tempt those men into sin like they were doing before. And that's why these men continue to simp on them for the possibility of some pussy.
Yeah. Doug MPA, did you want to ask him? Go ahead.
So we were talking the other day. I don't know if you saw that that Twitter civil war that erupted because of Sarah Stock posting her ring, and she said, "I won." And then Pearl said that she posted it. She won, but she's also starting the habit that these Christian e-girls, they start by posting the ring, and then they are gonna start using their family and their husband and their kids for clout. So it starts with a wedding ring or pictures of a woman's boobs and stuff, but then eventually they all drag their families into this whole thing. Why do guys? You could try to want to be private, but you're gonna become part of this machine because Christian women get more clout off of showing that they have a family. Why do men put up with that? Like, why would you as a man? First off, can a man maintain masculine frame if he's letting his wife put pictures of herself and her family and everybody on social media? And second off, why do these guys put up with that whole life cycle?
Yeah, I mean, I can answer that. It just opens you up to so many different attacks on so many different angles. And like I said, a lot of these women want attention, and they just want the ability to monkey branch. That's why they want to be seen now. That's why Steven Crowder's wife has not changed her last name on Twitter, because the association with this man helps them get seen by a wider audience. And, you know, the more they post of the family stuff, when it's all said and done, and then they divorce grape the guy, then they can go ahead and say, see, we were a happy family. Y'all saw the pictures, and this man ruined it. He was abusive, or he cheated, or he did this wrong, he did that wrong. That's why they do that, because they want to paint the rose-colored image of their life. And then on the back end, when they set up the divorce, they can say, see, I didn't do anything wrong. Look at all these cute pictures.
Wow. I actually didn't even think about that.
Yep.
I thought I was thinking
sense,
I was
man.
thinking it was more marketing for the next guy. Like, oh, I'm such a good wife, as the marketing for the next guy. But I didn't even think about the back end.
Yeah. See, let me just insert here. The next guy is a given. See, these women, they already have the monkey bar set up. They have the monkey branch set up. So the next guy is a given. They already know they're going to go. Once they declare that they're single, they already know it's going to be Simps in the DMs. But the financial aspect is what they want secured. So they can take these nice pictures to the divorce court, and they can take it to the court of public opinion and say, see, we were a nice family. He's the one who destroyed the family. He's the one who ran away from his family. We loved it here. Look at all these pictures. Everybody's smiling. But he's the one who's grumpy. He's the one who doesn't want to take pictures, knowing that men, you know, are not the ones to want to take pictures all the time, because we aren't the majority of the narcissists out here. It's actually women who are the majority of narcissists, and they want to signal to their friends and everybody online that they have this perfect life, even if it isn't.
I saw one e-girl. She posted a picture or a video of her birth. Like, you couldn't see like the actual, but like it was like her yelling, and like it almost sounded sexual moaning. And I'm like, why would you do that?
That's wild.
It was the Bernadine Bluntly. She blocked me on Twitter. I was like, okay. They said, what about fake hair, teeth, eye surgery? Are they the same? Do you view them as the same? Fake hair, teeth, eye surgery, nose jobs, etc.
I mean, I don't necessarily view them as the same as boob jobs, especially when it comes to the hair, because you got extensions and whatnot. Like, I'm not really, unless you don't have no hair, then that's when I start to question it. But if you have long hair and you're just trying to extend it for a night, okay, whatever. But I think the boob job and, you know, all the BBL type stuff, those types of cosmetic surgeries are really what we need to look out for, and what I would warn men about, because those types of surgeries are setting you up for the next thing. And a lot of times, you know, these women will say, oh, well, the men are the ones who are making us insecure and getting these, you know, life altering surgeries and these life threatening surgeries. But we know that's not true. They're getting these surgeries to compete with other women online and to set up the next thing, because most of the time the men are going to tell you that, hey, we love your natural body. Keep the main thing. You don't have to do all these enhancements. And then they'll go ahead and be like, oh, well, you guys are liking pictures of Instagram models and all that. Like, they try and make every type of excuse as to why they're going and you know, taking 6 feet deep chances on the operating table. It's just ridiculous. I mean, we see plenty of examples. We just saw 2 corn stars just, you know, check out early because they were continuing to go under the knife. And it's like, at some point, I mean, how much more titties do you want? How much more ass do you want? Like, I mean,
Pearl, this one corn star, she checked that. Well, she's not here anymore because she had her 3rd BBL. Her 3rd.
Oh my God, never ends.
Insane.
I have no words.
It's crazy.
I have no words. I mean,
did you do that reaction, April, about the women that women are getting sick from their breast implants?
Yeah, I don't know if women really, I think I know too many women that have had that done and they're fine, that I think it's like that big of a problem. Do you know what I think it is? I'm not saying women don't get sick from fake boobs, but I'm sure there's examples, but it seems to me that the symptoms they list are from being fat. Like, because one of the symptoms was like a yeast infection, and I'm like, you get those if you eat too much bread. And they'll like list like, oh, brain fog. I'm like, yeah, because you're fat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would argue,
that's my take.
Yeah.
It's like neuroticism, and like I don't really think the boob job like do that much damage. That's just my opinion. Like, people have like fake hearts and they're fine, you know, or like fake I'm not a medical person, so I'm butchering this, but I'm saying people have way more serious surgeries and they don't seem to complain as much.
Yeah. One of the sad parts about modern day is that it's never been, because women are so large, it's never been easier to be attractive. All you have to do is have a single digit dress size and you're better than like 70-80% of women out there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was just going to say what it is with, you know, these surgeries and why a lot of these women are dying. Not only are they getting repeated surgeries, but I guarantee it's going to come out, because I've heard from certain people who work at certain hospitals. I ain't going to say specifically, but certain cosmetic, you know, surgeon offices, they're taking a lot of fat out of people. And if your blood matches with some other person's blood, y'all have the same blood type, they might just, you know, take some of the fat left over from the last BBL and put it in your ass. And obviously that's going to have complications. And this is what's happening widespread, especially if you're going to a foreign country where they're putting another bitch ass in your ass. And I mean, it's just, people are not realizing the shortcuts that a lot of the medical professionals are taking as well in this industry, because it's a huge industry. And, you know, if they can take a shortcut to make an extra 5 bands off your behind, then they're going to do that. And they're going to be blameless when you check out on the operating table and just say, hey, well, you know, we told her the risk, she signed the waivers, and we washed our hands with it.
Yeah, the other thing that's annoying is women always say they didn't get informed consent. Like, there was this big movement of women saying they didn't get informed consent on birth control. And I just thought, like, they didn't care about the side effects back then. I remember being like around 16 to like 18 years old and telling girls on my team that that's going to have side effects eventually. And they all laughed at me. They looked at me like I was nuts. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, at the time when they're that age, they don't care. They're like, oh, whatever, kick it down the road. And then they want to blame the doctors later, when I'm like, you guys didn't want to know. Like, you didn't. Maybe the girls complaining online have special circumstances, but I just doubt it, because I remember it so vividly. Like, they did not care. They looked at me like they looked at me like I was insane for even suggesting there might be a consequence later.
Right.
Oh my God.
They put the side effects on the pack. They put it in the commercials right at the end. Side effects may include heart rate or sudden heartbeat or whatever. Like that. They're telling you what's in it. It's just, do you care? Are you going to listen? Are you willing to accept the consequences in the future? But they're so short-sighted. It's that instant gratification.
Yeah. Quality silicone causes no issues. Gummy silicone causes internal abrasion on movements. Saline bags have some containment inside and rot. Get a smooth bag. I don't know enough about the process. I couldn't tell you, but okay. I want to show you my, I made a slideshow. And I wanted to see if maybe you have any thoughts of things that should be added to it. Okay, I think you'd have some good. Can you see the screen or no?
Not right. Oh, I can see your screen. I can see you.
You can see me, but not my screen.
Now I see it. Yeah.
So I made a slideshow of what women do when they're offended. Okay, so.
Pearl, could you read the monitor?
What? Oh, my bad.
The monitor's blacked out.
My bad. Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah, we can see
Okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, I made a slideshow of what women do when they're offended. So these are offended people, and there's men fighting, and then they're friends after. Okay. And so women, I have makeup shit, bring up every mistake you've ever made, try to get you fired, antagonize you. They will never let it go ever and take years off your life. Women have no idea how many people live in fear of them, of their crazy, of lawsuits, of keying your car. They'll throw insults to ruin your reputation, like pedo, creep, rapist, narcissist, predator, abuser, manipulator, sociopath. Do you have anything I need to add to this PowerPoint?
Man, I mean, those are a whole bunch of good points. If I had to go off of the top, so it's basically what women do if you offend them.
Yeah, another one would be gaslight, which we were talking about today. So,
right.
If you got anything to add, I wanted your, if you had anything you thought I missed.
I don't know. I can't think of anything out of the top of my head, but if it comes to my mind, I'll definitely add to the list.
No pressure. Remember, just if you think of anything, I like to brainstorm. Yeah, go ahead.
You covered a lot.
There's also the female-friendly version of the story.
Oh yeah,
they'll get it funded because we couldn't return. Over here, we say that women will always tell the female-friendly version of the story, and that's where the woman is the hero and the victim in the story at the same time.
I'll add the woman is the hero and the victim of the story at the same. I just like to have PowerPoints to reference,
Right.
The victim at the same time. Do we have anyone else on the line? We can add. You're welcome to stay as we add more people. If people come on. The woman.
No one yet.
Oh, no one. Okay.
Oh, what I guess we can hit on yesterday's topic with Reclaim Your Throne.
Yeah, no one is here.
We were talking about sex being a need for men because we went over that Lila Rose clip yesterday. What is your opinion on sex being a need for men and this push on the Christian? Because that clip, she literally said, sex is not a need for men. Some of the most masculine men are priests and they don't need sex at all. There's literally an attack on men's. So I said that on the left, they accept men's sexuality, but they want men to be attracted to and sleep with who they want them to sleep with. Fat women, trans women, ugly women, right? Whereas on the right, they don't want men to think about sex at all. Sex shouldn't exist. What do you think?
So, I mean, I always say on my channel that sexual access and sexual variety is essential to a man's mental health. So the idea that a man doesn't need sex is absolutely preposterous. And I think sexual access mostly is the main pillar of that statement here, because at the end of the day, men definitely need sex. I mean, you see all of these people out here who are crashing out and, who are doing crazy things because they're not getting sex. And then you got all these ideas online spreading, like the black pill stuff. So obviously these are disgruntled men who are not having sexual access. Therefore, they're lashing out. They're lashing out online. They're lashing out in real life. And this sexual frustration that is built up and pent up is just growing in men. We know that 33% of men between the ages of 18 and 31 are virgins or haven't had sex within a year. And you're seeing that in the birth rates in the United States. So to say that men don't need sex is basically for these Tradcon women, it's so that they don't have to do their wifely responsibilities and give sex to their husbands, because at the end of the day, they say men don't need sex, but they're really talking about their husbands. They're talking about men don't need sex because I don't want to do the chore sex. I don't want to do the duty sex. But in reality, they know exactly who they want to have sex with. Like even in that clip, she was talking about some priest, I don't know, whatever. Priest Schmidt or whatever.
Pastor guy or whatever.
Yeah. And we already know what sexual repression does to these people in the church. We're seeing it over and over again where they're getting caught up with all types of weirdo stuff. So sexual repression for men especially is not good. And, you know, a lot of these people who they think are being celibate or being abstinent are having more fulfilled sex lives than, you know, maybe even some of them. So I think it's just another way for them to absolve themselves of their responsibility at home with their husbands and say, oh, well, you're a weak man if you want to get your dick sucked, or you're a weak man if you want to have sex 3 or 4 times a week. You need to, you know, control your lust and read the Bible. But the Bible says that as a wife, it's your duty to have sex with your man. So the reality is they just don't want to do their jobs in these relationships, because a lot of times these women are marrying these men for provider status. They are marrying the beta bucks, and they don't see that the man even deserves to have sex with them because they already have an idea of what type of man they can really see getting behind them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I would say, I said, one, wait, liberal women, they can be whores because in liberal circles, being a whore is empowering. So they can get it out whoring around, right? But I think the conservative women, they still have that want inside them, but their traditional values and the infrastructure prevents them from whoring around. So, but they have other ways of fulfilling that need, as in like putting your husband and your kids all over social media to show how faithful you are with your cross tattoo on. And so I say this because conservative women are still getting their needs met. Even if it's not having sex with their husband, they're still getting all the lights and attention. And this goes to show holistically, nothing is more important to modern women on the left or the right than their own selfish desires. They want a successful, ambitious man. They want to marry that man and have him put everything that made him who he is aside. He has to put everything aside to help him achieve her own selfish desires. So that's what's most important to modern women. Would you agree or not?
Yeah, no, definitely. It's funny because a lot of times they want, she said, one thing that she said was the most masculine men that she knows are, you know, priests who don't have sex. I mean, let's just be real. When's the last time you ever saw a masculine priest? Because I ain't seen no damn masculine priest. Like, you know, come on. These dudes be 80, 90 years old, you know, won't bust a grape, ain't lifted no weight ever in their damn lives.
No, they're all
like,
fat.
come on.
You know,
they'll just take the most extreme example, like the guy that she mentioned in the video, like Priest Schmidt or something like that. They'll take like the most handsome guy that they can find and say, see, he doesn't have sex. Meanwhile, he's banging all the nuns. He's banging all the men's wives in the church. And, you know, I mean, he might even be doing something with the altar boys. So, you know, it's just like at the end of the day, for one, they have no idea what these men are actually doing in their personal lives. That's one thing. And for two, it's just another way for them to virtue signal and say, see, this is the man you all should strive toward, so that they actually don't have to do what they're called to do within their own marriages.
You know what's funny? My dad, he's the most like moral guy I've ever met in my life. And I asked him why he wasn't religious. And he said because he was sick of gay men telling him how to live. That's what, because I didn't make sense. I'm like, you don't drink, you don't like, you're like one of the best people I've ever met. And I'm like, what? Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Doug. I'm
gonna let up the guy who suggested that verse.
Okay, sure. I'm gonna read the
religious guy that was on the other day.
Okay, I'm going to read the super chat really quick. Don't forget all the married men not getting sex. Yeah, that too.
And also, there's 2 pro reads on the website if you want to.
Okay, I'll read them. Give me a second. Pearl read, Doug MPA read. They just want to spoil the fun on those girls who get to have some. Pearl read, my opinion on the topic of sex being a need is my body, my choice. Okay. The boob job is definitely a red flag. Okay. Women who dressed immodest aren't being traditional. They demand traditional treatment from men. We have a society haven't properly addressed how to balance modernity with tradition. Yeah, look, I'm not even anti-boob job. I think for some women it's a great move. I mean, Pamela Anderson, it was probably a good move for her career. Who am I to say? But what I just don't like is the gaslighting. Like I am traditional, but I have giant fake boobs. I don't know. That's where I get annoyed. Like, at least Pamela was like, "Yeah, I'm a whore." She was honest,
right?
Mm-hmm. And
I like Pamela Anderson,
it took
to be
her
honest.
far
Go
too.
ahead. What? Go ahead. What?
I said it took her far too.
Yeah,
God bless Pamela Anderson, and then the fake boob queen, Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah, I mean that didn't end as well. But I mean, Pamela. It looks like Pamela might stick the landing at 60. Hey,
she's got with Liam Neeson, man.
Yeah,
come on now.
If she pulls that off, I'm impressed. I'm like, hey. Some women, it's like I'm just impressed.
Yeah. Okay, let me bring up Peter Paul because he had a couple good super chats. Peter Paul, are you there?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty good. Hey, Pearl, I was thinking about we talked about yesterday.
Okay.
And I wanted to call back in because you were talking about it again.
Sure.
And I can't remember the gentleman's name. He's got a good background. He's talking a lot of sense.
Okay. Oh, so what did you have on the topic? Go ahead.
Yeah. So you were talking about Tradcon. And like I said, I had talked to my wife about this because we're Catholic. We care about the church and all that kind of stuff. And I'm telling you, Pearl, read chapter 25 to 26, get that online. It's part of the Bible and it's everything. It's basic. I'm surprised you haven't read it. It's basically everything that you always talk about. And so you say that you're not religious enough or you're not religious and everything. I would say you're not religious enough in that sense because it's already there. You're just saying what's already there. And there's a lot of these traditional women and you read this like, a sandy hill to aged feet, walking up a sandy hill is like a nagging woman to a quiet man. Like, why aren't you reading that? Why aren't you telling Lila that? Like, why aren't you figuring out her question to that or her answer to that? But anyway, that was my contribution to it. There's a lot of answers already. Like this fake boob stuff, that goes back to Genesis. Why do we wear clothes anyway? It's because of shame. So why do women have fake boobs? Why do they, change their appearance? It's because they have shame. That's why women that don't have shame don't do that. It's very easy.
Okay, cool. Doug MPA, you got any questions for him?
Yeah. The hardest part about it is you want to keep to kind of red pill talking points because a lot of these people you can go in circles and circles and circles if you try to get too theological with like a Lila Rose. Look, honestly, Lila Rose is she's an undercover feminist, so there's kind of no point in going back. I wouldn't even say she's undercover, but she's figured out a way to use the religious text.
No, it's just
against men already.
They've spent hours.
So what's the point?
They've spent hours studying the Bible, and I'm not that religious. They're just if it's going to be a verse off, they'll find another verse. They'll find a way to manipulate it. I just know it's the depths. It just never ends. I'll look into the verses you're saying. I'm just saying that's why I try not to get too theological because I just know I'm not an expert in that topic. I'm not. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not a public person. So this is just public information.
Yeah.
So the Jews.
Oh no.
And Martin Luther tried to take Sirach out of the Bible.
Why
did the Jews? They tried.
No, we're not doing that, man. Sorry.
You got to kick him.
Oh man.
You got to kick him, Doug. You can't.
Come on, man. We just got monetized again. We can't even.
Doug, kick him.
He's already gone. He's already gone.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we may even have to edit that part out because YouTube is not playing with that right now, man.
Oh no,
it's not. Yeah. I kicked him out a while ago.
Oh, sorry. I heard Reclaim. I thought it was the other guy. I was like, Doug, he's gonna keep going. I'm like, Doug, he's gonna keep going. No.
And once again, guys, we're gonna stay out of that whole everything going on in the sandbox over there because we got. Yeah,
it's not like I am sure there are verses to back this up, but it's just like they'll just catch you because these people have been studying the Bible for like 20. I can't catch up. If we go into the Bible verses, it's like I can bring up one or two, but I don't have the time to become to become a subject matter expert. I'm not. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then also, guys, as a practice, don't even argue with someone or don't even have a debate if someone's premise is off. Like if someone wants to argue with you about the sky and their premise is that the sky is green and it's blatantly blue, why even have a discussion with them? It's the same thing with if you can't argue with a woman whose premise is that men have it easy and women have it difficult. Like the premise is off. So what's even the point? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing with a lot of these fake Tradcon undercover feminists. If they found a way to use the Bible against men and justify why they're saying the things that they're saying to men, just don't even argue with it. Don't get into a theological discussion with them. What's the point? You're wasting your time.
Yeah, because I mean, you can pick and choose any verse in the Bible, but in the Bible, for one, there are plenty of examples of men who were, considered blessed to God, who had a ton of sex, who had a ton of, concubines, who had, multiple wives. I mean, you can go down the list from Lamech, Abraham, King David, Solomon. I mean, we see all of these examples. We see all of these examples of, men who were not living how these women are interpreting what the Bible says. So it's just funny to kind of see them, pick and choose. But at the end of the day, you got to take it all or you got to take none of it. So there are going to be some men who are going to be able to do different things than other men. That's just the reality. And, it's up to God to decide if you want to get into that type of lane there. But I try and keep my arguments from a secular point of view because, we're living in reality and, we can only control what's in front of us. So that's what we're going to speak on.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you something, Reclaim Your Throne. We've had multiple Christian influencers on here, and Pearl says sell marriage to a man, right? And their number one go-to is, well, if a man gets married, because Pearl will ask, what does a man get out of marriage? Like, let's say we have a 27-year-old Ivy League undergrad, Ivy League law school, 28 years old, about to go out into the world, and he's saying, reclaim your throne. Should I get married, right? Well, the Christian influencers say, oh, well, you get a virtuous woman. Right? He's even laughing. Like, what is that even? Because I would say that when they say that you get a virtuous woman, women get rewarded for not being virtuous. And then what is there to keep a woman virtuous in dating and in marriage? Like, what do you think?
There's really nothing. There's no bounds that these women won't go. If they have that handheld device in their hand that we call a cell phone, it's pretty much OV. The only thing that's going to keep them at bay is the game of the man. That's just the reality. It's the way that she views that man. Most men have come to terms and accepted the fact that we're not getting virgins. We're not getting virtuous women. We're not getting modest women. We're not getting these type of biblical attributes out of the women that we choose to marry. And a lot of the times these Tradcon influencers are speaking trying to say, oh, well, men need to do this, men need to do that, but they're having sex before men are having sex. That's the reality of the situation. These women are having more sexual partners and having sex earlier than the men are, statistically all the way around. So, they're speaking from a high horse, but they're not actually doing what they're telling the men to do, because at a moment's notice, they still have the right to say, I'm not happy, I'm going to move on. And however they do it, at the end of the day, they end up on a new dick. So, it's not really much ground that they have to stand on when they're lecturing to men, because they aren't even following their own advice in most cases. And men know, especially young men nowadays, we know these chicks are not coming out of high school, virgin. So they're already racking up bodies in high school, and men have come to accept the fact. I mean, like I said, there are 10% of women between the age of 18 and 24 on OF. That's just OF, not considering seeking arrangements, Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, all these other dating apps. And what do you think they're doing on these apps? Like it's obvious, but they still are going to try and sell the purity. And most of these guys are a lot of guys, I'll say, are waking up. Most of these guys are falling for it, and that's why we're seeing people getting divorced at higher rates, and then we're also seeing just men completely getting finessed in the divorce courts.
What would you say? So we had we had the discussion on our show about if there was a whore who repented and wanted to come back into the church, like Nala, would there be a circumstance you would allow her into the church, and what would you make her do?
Oh man. I mean, she gonna have to come in there with a full burqa on, you know what I'm saying? She gonna have to cover up everything. Can't nobody know who she is. She gonna have to sit in the corner. She gonna have to tithe, put in the collection plate every Sunday. She better not miss no Sunday. And then, we can start talking about other activities that she can possibly get involved in with the church. But I know one thing. If she's coming like from a Nala background, she definitely can't have no contact with no husbands. She definitely can't have no contact with no children. And her contact with the leader of the church, the pastor, reverend, preacher, whatever you want to call it, priest, that contact has to be very limited. I mean, at the end of the day, obviously there's salvation, but there also needs to be atonement. There also needs to be some type of action implemented where, I mean, maybe she gonna have to be the janitor of the church. I think that is a good calling for these women, because I mean, they were come dumpsters, come toilets, and now they need to come in the church and clean toilets. That is what there needs to be some type of, for real, there needs to be some type of disciplinary action.
So we said that. So like I said, okay, she needs to be brought into the church by a man of God through marriage, right? Then she has to have 2 to 3 other guys' kids. Then no whoring whatsoever for 10 to 15 years. And she also cannot try to preach or proselytize for 10 years.
Yeah, see, I don't want to, I don't want to set no man up for failure. So I don't even think she doesn't deserve a man. She really doesn't. Like, if a woman goes through that life, she doesn't deserve a man, and any man that does get with her is a simp. And he's pretty much signing the death of that relationship by taking her seriously. At the end of the day, she needs to be, I mean, honestly, I barely want her seen, but definitely not heard. She is going to have to be some type of outcasted janitorial landscaping position. Like, she needs to service the church in, the most laborious way possible to earn the good graces of the congregation.
What would you do when the men, as they do, start being interested in her?
Whew.
Because you already know they're gonna see through the burqa. She's got a good body.
Yeah.
Like, there's too many sexless guys in church. Somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah,
So
the preacher gonna have to go on overtime preaching a sermon of resisting lust and you know and casting out whores and stoning whores. Like, he's gonna have to go fire and brimstone, old Southern Baptist style, like for real, to really hone it into these simps' minds. You know that you are not to deal with this woman. She is working on her atonement. She is working on her, you know, her not literal, but her proverbial tarring and feathering in the church. Like she's working on getting back in the good graces of God, you know. So everybody need to leave her alone, and that's what he needs to be kind of. I mean, these hoes need to be singled out in the congregation. They need to be singled out. They need to have a spotlight on their ass and be like, this is an example of a bitch who fucked up in the name of the Lord. Like that. This is what they need to do to really drive it home.
Yeah, and the problem is there's just too much. There's no consequence for being a whore. There's really not nowadays. It's like they get an influencer career and you get like a decent looking guy. I understand he's a simp, but like most of them are so crazy. That's what they were going to get anyways. You know, even the fact that they could get a guy. Go ahead.
On that note, the show before that, we were talking about that Lil Tay and how she dropped the OF link on her 18th birthday.
Right.
And we were saying, you might as well, because she can make 20, 30 mil by the time she's 25, repent, and then find a church simp to marry and have a marriage and kids with, and then become a Tradcon influencer and go to Turning Point USA and go to Turning Point USA's leadership conference.
And then cheat with the guys there. I've heard there's a lot of cheating. So, you know, there you go. She can have her cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
Why not?
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much majority of modern women's playbook nowadays. You know, if they have any type of social media presence as a high schooler and then they get to the adult age of 18, we already know that majority of them are at least considering starting an OF, and that's pretty much all you need. Once you're considering it, then they start posting seductive pictures online, and then they instantly monetize their sexuality while also shaming the men who are waiting, for their birthday. They're gonna start their OF, but then they're also gonna shame those men. So, and a lot of times these men, you know, they don't care about being shamed. If not, they want to be shamed. You know, we have a findom epidemic, financial dominatrix epidemic going on X, especially. I mean, it's opened up so much on X, and you're seeing it all over the place where these guys are begging to get ridiculed, begging to get disrespected, begging to have their masculinity challenged online in public for all the world to see. And, you know, I just think that, I mean, there's no turning this thing back. It's OV. It's OV.
Yeah. I'm going to read the super chats. It says marriage is only worth it for men in Afghanistan. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been to the Middle East. So I don't really know. I can't say I haven't seen it, but I've heard in Twitter spaces, they're not as pure as they say. I did live in a pretty Muslim area when I was in London, and those girls were throwing it back too. That's what I'm inclined to believe. But hey, I could be wrong. Corey, Doc Fund, thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I was on a podcast about a year ago and with a Muslim guy, and he was like, oh, well, if you get a Muslim woman," I mean, I just had to laugh, bro. It's like, dude, if the woman is in the United States, I mean, maybe in the Middle East, like if you go actually to the Middle East where, you know, there ain't no real infrastructure and it's just desert, maybe. But at that point, why would you even want a bitch like that, bro? She don't know shit. Like it's just. It's not even worth it. And then you got to do all this extra shit to be accepted by her family. It's not even worth it. But like if she's in the States and she's claiming to be Muslim, do you know how many Muslim women I've seen who was, popping all that Muslim shit, but then starting to OF. I mean, look at Brittany Renner. She was saying that she was Muslim after getting ran through by, basketball teams. And then she gets online and talking about, oh, well, she's Muslim and alhamdulillah and all this kind of stuff. And the Muslims accepted her because pretty much they're just ganging up. They're just gang. It's like, okay, boom, she's part of the gang now, and they're going to accept her. And they're not even bringing the real hammer down as far as judgment goes for her past. Like, if you look at her Instagram comments before she started hoeing up again, once she put on that burqa and deleted like her past shit, they's in the comments talking about some mashallah, alhamdulillah, and all this other type of shit. Like, come on now. They gave her a pass. So I don't see Muslim men, especially in the West, holding women accountable at all. I don't see it.
No, I don't. And they try to gaslight me too, because I've had some pretty devout Muslims on my show, or they claim to be anyways. And they'll always try to tell me their women are different. But I'm like, I had Muslim women on the podcast too, and they would do and say the same things.
Right. And the Muslim men are the ones who are flying these hoes out the Dubai and dookie on them. So I'm not taking their words seriously, bro. I'm just not.
Yeah, what religion should I grift next year? What do you think? Which one?
I don't know. I heard Buddhism is the wave now. You know what I'm saying? You can get a flexible bitch. Get you a flexible bitch. She gonna do crisscross applesauce on the dick.
You gonna make some serious money? Scientology.
Scientology? Should I? I'm just, I'm getting to that age, so I'm like, which one should I pick? I'm thinking, I was thinking the Orthodox really want me, so. Women are the same in the Middle East. The difference is the other wives keep the garden tool in check to get more attention from the husband. Okay.
Good point.
Cool. All right. You got any final thoughts on the topic that you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, in closing, I would just say these Tradcon women, they're really snakes in the grass. You got to be careful if they are, online trying to present themselves as holier than thou. I mean, it's pretty much going to come out that they're definitely being hypocrites. But I just don't want you guys to fall for it and you guys to try and cuff it and think that you're getting a deal or think that you're getting some type of rare unicorn woman, when in all actuality, she's just like all the other women out here. The only difference is, she's posting Bible verses on her story, every other day. So it's just like, you're not really getting a good deal with a self-proclaimed Tradcon woman. Like, if she's really a traditional woman, she doesn't have to say it. You see it in her actions. You see that she got an old Android and she ain't worried about no blue messages. You see that, she is actually covering up and she ain't taking like top-down pictures to show her cleavage. You see that she's not having a heavy social media presence and saying, oh, well, I'm on social media because I got a business, knowing that these hoes are not making no damn money online.
No money.
So just be careful, guys, and don't fall for the grifts, man, because they are really getting a lot of these dudes. A lot of you dudes are wifing it. All the woman has to do is put a cross in her bio, say a couple racist things, and you dudes are just eating it all up.
Yeah. You want to tell them where they can find you?
Yep, you can find me on YouTube, #ReclaimYourThrone. You can also, if you're trying to get in the best shape of your life, get the Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course. It is in my YouTube descriptions on every video.
Cool.
And you can find me on X, Reclaim D1.
Cool.
I've been putting your channel in the chat this whole time. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming. Come by. We do this every day around the same time. So if you ever see a topic, feel free to jump on.
Oh, for sure. I'm going to be here more often, for sure.
Cool. All right. Thanks for coming.
All right, y'all. Reclaim your throne.
Doug MPA, you got any final thoughts on the topic? Doug, are you there?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was letting him out. Yeah, my final thoughts are, once again, guys, nothing's more important to women on the left and the right than their own selfish desires, and they'll do everything to achieve those desires. Getting plastic surgery and a boob job is one of those.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman's a trad and she gets a boob job, it's over. cooked.
Cooked.
You're done. It means that she values attention over you. And guys, I don't think a woman, period, would get a boob job to please her husband or the man that she's in a relationship with. She's going to do it for other men and other women. So just be careful, man. Be careful.
Yeah, I'm not anti-boob jobs. I do think some women's boobs are so bad that like you guys deserve a boob job here and there. I do think that they're helpful in getting what you want as a woman. To be honest, you'll probably get more offers with them. Morality, it's probably wrong if you're going from a Christian point of view, but I'm not that religious. However, my final point is that I just do think it's a contradiction. So if you have a boob job, it just might not be time to apostatize. I just think that takes you out of the running. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that might, like, maybe take the Jesus cross out of your bio and put the boobs in your bio. That would just make more sense. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We don't have anyone else on the line, right?
Nope.
Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Like,